Hey everyone, in today's video I want to show you guys the behind the scenes of how I made this animation. Let's start off with the scene where the rat is chewing on the wire. I'm going to set the camera to render and our viewport to material, preview. Okay, so all that's happening is the camera is slowly panning out while the light is sort of following that motion. And then for the rat is just a plain image that I drew in Photoshop, and then I exported it as a PNG and then I imported it into Blender. And then for these light particles that you see, it's just a few shapes that I created, and then I added a skin modifier to it, and then I just created an emission shader in the material. And then for these assets that you see also around, it's exactly the same concept as the rat. I just created it in Photoshop and then I exported it as PNGs and then imported it back into Blender. And then the only funny thing that's happening is this light beam sort of falling across the rat, and what that is just a light up top here, and then I created these two planes to sort of control exactly where the light is falling. Okay, and now for the cell tower. Now it's exactly the same concept as with the rat scene. Let me just set the preview to material and our camera to rendered view, and here you can see the camera is slowly moving outwards. And the only funny thing that's really happening here is I created this background in Blender a while back, and then I have a light parented to a null object, and the background is also parented to the null object, and then this null object is just slowly panning inwards, and I just thought it created a nice effect and it made it feel a bit more believable. Okay, so we're in After Effects. So I just exported both of those scenes that you saw into PNGs, and then I stitched them together in After Effects, and then I just faded the one into the other. And then in the final comp where I rendered it out, I just reflected it. So it started off with the cell tower and then it goes to the rat. The only really fancy thing that's happening with the rat is you could see sort of the lights are flickering on the wire, and what is happening is you can see down here, it's just with some simple line of code, the opacity of the top layer is going to 100 and then back to 0 in sort of a non-predictable pattern, and then it just created that weird effect. And there you have it. That's it for the behind the animation for today. If you guys have any tips and tricks for me, please let me know, or if you have any questions, I would love to hear what you think. Have a good one.